Hello. What you're about to witness is going to be a love affair between man and stone and razor. Will there be hatred? Will there be blood? Or will there be cooperation and ecstasy? Follow me now to what I call the honing zone. The name of this video is called the most comprehensive honing video for beginners. How's it going, man? Guys, Solus. Hey, so the name of this video is going to be called the most comprehensive honing video for the novice ever created. This video I am replacing an older video I did 5 years ago with the same title and same intro. I just stole the intro. I liked it so much. But since that time, I've changed in theory and in technique and in stones also. So I'm making a new video. So I think that I think some people are puzzled by honing, and I just wanted to try to break it down in the most simplest forms, okay? And it goes like this. The first thing is making sure your stones are flat. The second thing is making sure that is understanding what you're looking at, okay? And what I mean by looking at, I mean by razors, honeware, all these different things. Like, what do you see when you see this razor? You see that this tip is somebody jacked it up when they honed it. I bought this just to harvest the scales. And I tried to get it to shave, but you can see some of the honeware translated to the blade. So honeware is very important to eliminate or stifle or make up for with tapes. This razor right here, I want to be honing this razor tonight. This is the 15/16 fawn razor. Now look at the honeware on this thing. Can you see it? It's just a big flat spot, and that's kind of heartbreaking to see because I put some of it on there, just like my Philharmonica. It's like any other razor I got. But I've learned to not do that. I've learned to protect that spine because it's ugly as hell, for one thing. Second of all, it's, you have to make up for that loss with the tapes, and a lot of times you're guessing. If anyone saw me do the Bismarck razor, you'll see how much I went through. I honed that thing. I went through all kinds of trouble, and still I do not like that razor. I would give that away to anybody. The next thing is going to be your technique. And your technique when honing a razor is just as important as everything else. Just as important as having a flat stone and having your perception of the razor. So let's go to the kitchen, and I'm going to lap some stones. Okay, I already covered all this in another video, and it's called the methodology of lapping. And but I'm going to go through it again real quick. Lapping is ensuring that you have a flat stone, and there's a way to do it. First of all, you could use sandpapers, but you have to use the appropriate sandpaper. For example, you don't want to use 220 grit sandpaper on a 20,000K Suehiro. That's ridiculous. 600 is where you would start. Okay, same thing, grit. And now you can do something like this. This is a 1200K Atoma lapping plate. It's perfectly flat, it's diamond encrusted, and it is the best way to lap a stone. It's not the cheapest way, but it's one way. And you can use sandpaper and get away with it and be fine, because they make like 3,000 grit sandpaper. Shoot, I got 12,000 grit sandpaper down there too. This one here is a 400 And the way I'm going to use this is going to be probably the best way, I think. Now, here's a shit way to go. These are okay to use, but you got to remember, this has to be flattened too. So that's not really the ideal way. So you never know what you're going to get. Another good way to go are your stick powders. I would start off on the 600 grit. I've used a 1200 grit on my 20,000K Suehiro. So what you do with this is you get a nice flat piece of tile. You go to Home Depot, find a big piece of tile that's broken, they'll give it to you. And you go over to the tools, you find a straight edge, and you put that straight edge across there, and you make sure that thing is flat. And then what you do is you put just a little bit of the powder down and use that. There's videos on that too. This right here is too short. The principal idea of using a lapping stone is that it should be able to span the end stone. This is my brand new, never used 3000 Suehiro, and this is pretty nice. They chamfered all the edges. So what you do is you do it exactly like this so you can know how far. And this is a pencil. Never use anything but a pencil. So alright, so let's get it. This is the 1000 first. Look at that, nice and flat. Now I'm going to tell you something about this. You should probably do this under running water. I'm not doing it that way because my tripod is right on my sink. But what you want to do is you want to do this under running water, because that slurry that'll build up right there will cause unevenness. So let's do the 3000 grit. Nice. See that? Nice and flat. Now, see, this is what I'm talking about. You can rest assured that I have just eliminated a problem in my process, because this stone and this stone is perfectly flat. Now, I'm literally going to do the rest of my stones, and I'm going to go through the entire process off camera. And I'm going to show you something that I do also. So right now I got all my stones marked. This is my 20K. I think I'm going to use that instead of the conical. So everything, that part is done. I do things in stages. So now I'm just going to go by and just go to town with my lapping. Thing done pretty quick. The synthetics really don't warp or anything, so that is super nice there. This stone here is the 20K Suehiro. It's always giving me a little bit of a problem, and I want to vary the motion and the angle, flip it around. Don't put any pressure on it. So I'm going to call that good for now. And that's exactly how I like to do it too, also, just so you know, because if I were to put the stone on the cloth, even though it is wet, there's still a good chance that it'll have a suction and I can pull it right off and bust it. So here's a 1200. See that section? So with your hands on the stone, you're decreasing the likelihood of anything going wrong. See what I'm doing here? I have used 400 grit on all these stones, but this finished stone I have gone up in grits. So now I'm going to do something else. And this you should pay attention to, because what I'm doing in my imagination, so you got to use your imagination when you're doing this kind of stuff, like what's happening, what's the stone doing, what's the razor doing, what am I doing, what effect do I have on the edge. So I put this in the holder, and then I use my 15,000 grit Atoma blue, not Atoma blue, Chinese blue. I'm just going to go over like this. See that? So I'm giving it as fine of edge as I possibly can. Alright, so I had to switch cameras, doing the same thing over and over again. Okay, let me back up a little bit here. So what I did was I got this glass over wood, and I have a 0.3 micron lapping sheet on there. I'm going to do that because I'm going to use my 20K Suehiro. I'm going to back it up a little bit. It's a great technique though. So what you do is this is a sticky back, peels right off. Get your new one, put it down the glass like this, stick it down and just drop it, go like that, and you are done. And this will be the final step in the honing. So, okay, so one thing also is you need to make sure that your razor is not warped. And the best way to do that is get you something flat like this, and just put it down. Kind of do that. It doesn't rock at all. See, I can see that ugly spine wear though. It's like pretty bad. Okay, so that's that. So, I don't know if I mentioned, if I got erased or what, but I'm going to use this 15/16 fawn razor, and I just did the geometry on it, and right now it's at 16.4, which is a great angle, so I'm going to make sure I protect that spine for sure. Some other things you got to have is some way to look at the edge. Now I have a 400 times magnification microscope up there. I can't use it on my new computer though, so that kind of sucks. But this little deal right here, I think this is a 60,000 grit, or not a 60,000 grit, a 60 times magnification, and it comes with a light. It comes from China, like $3 when I bought this one, and the battery went bad on it. I went to go replace the battery, and the battery cost more than the light. So I should buy a new battery for it though, because this is pretty nice. The other one I got is this lighted one. It's only a 40. So, but what you want to do is look at your edge, and you want to see if there's any chips in it. If there's any chips in it, then if they're small enough, you can work them out on the 1000 grit. But you should use a loupe to determine, so you can watch the pattern, scratch pattern on your razor, go away or lessen. All new progression. This is this stone's maiden voyage. So let's get it on. I just have a nice bottle of water here. I don't like the sprays. Okay. So, okay. First of all, I need to kill this edge. And I'm going to kill it right here. And I'm going to seriously kill this edge, because I'm going to reset this bevel. And I want you to watch this. I'm going to reset the bevel in as little strokes as possible. And I also forgot to put my tape on too. So, center it, press it up against the spine. If it's got wrinkles, and just reset it, just like this. This isn't the easiest stuff to work with, I can guarantee you that much. So what you want to do is make sure that there's no wrinkles up on the spine. Alright, that is good. Alright, let's play it again, Sam. Alright, add some water. Oh, I should show you. Okay, see that right there, crap right there? Don't ever put your edge on your thumbnail. It's just redundant. See, this isn't sharp at all. So, and I'm going to show you something. Nice feedback. This is my first use on this stone. Nice feedback. And when I dulled this on the corner, I did it like 3 or 4 times. And when you do it on a stone, as opposed to glass, the stone will remove that material, and it will not just fold it over. Okay, so this is taking off a lot of material. I can tell you that right there. Look how black it is. And so I got to be careful. I like to treat all my razors like they're just, you know, made of gold and rare and all that. And you know, this razor here is just a very sweet razor. So I'm going to take off my coat so I can do a little test shave right here. Shaving a little bit, not enough though. And I swear I'm using super light pressure. I am not trying to mangle this razor. Once this bevel is set, I'm going to move up to the 3K, and from there it's all the same. So this is what I'm talking about. It's like, you know, if you make sure your stones are flat, make sure you know what kind of what your razor's trying to do, and you understand things, then you don't need to do very much. It's just all repetitive. So it's cutting good, real good already. So, oh yeah, up and down the razor's edge, it is cutting well. So I'm just do a few back strokes and be done. Super light. Because see, what I'm thinking about right now is I'm thinking about scratch patterns. And if you're going to press really hard, then you're going to have a really deep scratch pattern. See, that's where you have to kind of see in your mind's eye these things. So if you were to do more strokes, light strokes, as opposed to lesser heavy strokes, you don't have those deep scratch patterns. And you probably would accomplish something better anyway. So now the next thing I'm going to do after I switch this stone over is I'm going to look at my tape and I'm going to determine if I need to replace it. See it? That bevel is set. No reason to go any further. That bevel is set. Look how bald my arm is right there. Alright, so I can't wait to see what this 3K is like. I just gave up that one 3K And anyway, I did not like that thing. It felt plasticky to me. I didn't like it. And it was mysterious to me too. Alright, so. Alright. So I need new tape. Nope. Super, super light. You should know when you're honing a razor is, like, a lot of times you'll see people going like this, and that's okay if your edge, if your blade is smaller than the stone. Mine isn't. So let me check my. So since I can't do that, you go heel forward like this. See. Now when you get to the end, you got to be careful. Some people will flip it around like this, and they scrape sometimes the stone. So in order to not do that, I kind of go like this. See? So, and if you are looking at your edge all the way through this, then you're probably going to see right now we're seriously polished right now. If you look at the stone, you can also see that it is removing small pieces of metal off my edge. Super, super, super light on this stone. I've seen guys build slurries and just go off on this stone. It's like, man, it's not the way you treat that baby. This stone right here, if my house caught on fire, I'd grab my roller razors and this stone and jump out the window. But that's me. I'm just a wild and crazy guy. So what am I feeling right now? I'm feeling that there's a lot of suction, and if you put down water like this and you hold your blade flat on the stone and you push it, it should have a squeegee effect all the way across. Also, you should be getting water on top of your blade like I'm doing right here. That is a very good sign. And we know the stone is flat. We know the razor is flat. So there's no reason to not win. It's been a while since I used this stone. I love this stone. I'm glad I didn't use the conical though. The conical is so small. This is a big beefy stone. Very nice. I didn't even use a slurry in my whole progression. I was going to do a slurry. Alright, so time for me to take a quick look and make sure your edges are very dry. Oh man, I am going to get a picture of this edge because I have something else, not just these. I have a macro lens that hooks onto my phone there. So, alright, so let's go off on so I couldn't take a picture before because I did give a good honing. All I did was kill the edge. See that black? It's taken off a little bit. Polishing the shit. Now I want to tell you something about the 20K and the a 0.3 micron lapping sheet I'm using. Is that when I shave with this here in a minute, I'm going to feel nothing but polished edge. A 12K leaves more like a serrated edge, and that's a whole new story. And so when you put on your aftershave, you're more than likely going to get some sting because you got these little microscopic cuts in your face. So, alright, there it is. Love it. Alright, I'm going to go get a shave. I'm excited. So, I will meet you in there.